This property was abandoned for 17 years before I put up everything I had to buy it. The previous owners left everything behind: a house full of belongings, a shop full of tools, and an old pony barn full of classic car parts. It's on a beautiful piece of property, but all the buildings are collapsing in total disrepair. One piece at a time, one stick, one board, we're gonna put this place back together. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am in the pit, and today I think it is floor joist day. Got to be careful. It is not even under here. Speaking of not even, floor joist would be a very simple process, except the space that I'm in is roughly 10 foot by 15 foot, but it is very, very not square. That section of band joist right back there is 9 foot 6 1/4. And the one right here in front of me is about 9 foot 11. So, we have our work cut out for us today. Now, by design, things don't need to be square. This feels like it's out of square as a big mistake. Feels like someone laid out the foundation incorrectly. I think my best guess at this point is that somebody measured from the inside of the block on one corner and the outside of the block on another corner. It's really hard to say, but they clearly decided they just had to go with it once the foundation was in place. Who knows when? Was over 70 years ago, as far as I can tell. So this is less than 90, which means this one over here should also be less than 90. It's hard to see in there, but it is. Which would mean that should be more than 90, which it is by a lot. So this is not a square, it's not a rectangle, it's not a rhombus, it's not a parallelogram. It is an unequal quadrilateral.
I flunked geometry.
Well, that just means we're gonna have a ton of custom cuts. Our sheets are gonna come in 4x8 sheets. They're going to have 4 90-degree angles. We have 0 90-degree angles. So we just need to figure out the best way to do our layout so that we have the least amount of cuts to do. It's that's it. I'm willing to bet I'm gonna figure this out wrong and have a better idea of how to do it once it's already done. And we are certainly not changing the structure or the foundation. We're gonna build inside the box we're in. It's not that big a deal. Well, one project begets another around here, and today is absolutely no different. Good news is I'm kind of running out of things to, beget, but this, where my first joist needs to go, she's down. Shouldn't be able to just pull the wood apart with your bare hands. Go ahead and patch this up real quick. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. We've done it for, well, everything else. Oh, all right, gang. This is our test piece. I got the first 4 joists in. When there's one advantage of being out of square. It's wider on this end, so I can cut them to length because all of them are different. They're growing about 3/8 each. And then I can slide them in, and it's pretty easy to get them in because of that. I just put in this junk piece of OSB that I had laying around just to see what was going on. We are pretty darn close on our level, which is great. And we are about 1.5 inches out over 4 feet. I would expect that will continue, but if I continue putting these joists in the way that they're going, I squared the first one off of this beam here, which is At this point, only this and the first joist are actually squared to each other, and then I am running everything off of that. So it's going to gradually get out of square on this side, but hopefully if I run my straight factory edge along this, everything should line up with the joists. That's my hope and plan. I also had a little delay of game because I was tripping over this hump and I realized, well, where the old furnace and air handler used to be, there's a big dip. So we're gradually going to be just moving some dirt because I don't want water, if it ever gets in here for any reason, to pool there. I want it to have a place to go. So it's not so much about bringing that up as bringing this pathway down so water has a drain just in case it gets in here. To be honest with you, I don't know the order of operations here. Like, I want to plumb as much as possible from a spot without flooring in it, but it's got to run up through the floor, so I don't know how to calculate all that. So I'm going to try to run this out another 4 feet, and that should cover most of the plumbing where the bathroom is. And then we'll see about what we do from there. Oh boy, howdy. Wild. Everything is just in with the screw. It's all going to get joist hangers and nails and all this other stuff, but I kind of feel like my best bet is to build the puzzle pieces. But because the measurements are going to need to be pretty precise for where the drain lines go through based on the fixture sizes and all that stuff, I kind of want to be able to measure off reality because of how out of square it is. So we'll get it there. I mean, realistically, we're in a 10 by 15 foot ish space. We can manage this. Look at that floor. Welcome to the nerve center here at the ranch. This is the Bluetti Elite 300. This is the smallest 3 kilowatt hour portable power station. It measures in at 14 by 12 by 12, 3,014 watt hours packed in this tiny little box. This thing can put out 2,400 watts through 11 different ports plus a peak surge. It's got a standard cigarette lighter, 12 volt, 30 amp, 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, 4 conventional AC outlets, and this TT30. So you can power your RV right off this thing just as if it was getting shore power. And this is a reliable power supply for anywhere I need to go. If I'm on a road trip, I can charge this via the car in 12 volt DC. If you want to go off grid, it is plug and play solar ready. Just plug your solar panels in. This thing does the rest to convert the energy of the sun into power you can store and use. And if you're at home, you can charge it through an AC outlet, and this thing will go from 0 to fully charged in 1.6 hours. This also functions as a 10 millisecond UPS. The power goes out, switches over in 10 milliseconds, and the power supply remains virtually uninterrupted. You can fully monitor and control this device through the Bluetti app. This works over Bluetooth and or Wi-Fi. And because it's portable, I can take it to where I need it. It's charging my phone, charging my battery, and powering this saw. If I go on a road trip, I throw it in the car with me, and it's also a peace of mind in case I break down in the middle of the desert, which I have been known to do. There ain't nobody out here. Nobody at all. But if I'm not doing either of those things, this thing comes home with me, and if we experience a power outage, this can power whatever I need it to for 3,000 watt hours. I found them to be amazingly valuable tools. If you want to learn more about it, check out the link in the description. We're all charged up. Let's get back to it. It's time to cogitate plumbing, and we've got a decision to make, and I think I'm gonna do some Willy Wonka Mickey Mouse stuff that should be pretty exciting. We're gonna do it because this room is very much not square. It grows by almost 6 inches down at that end, which is roughly 2 inches every 4 feet. We can't correct it for real. We could correct it by padding out a wall and having a dead space, but I don't see a reason for that. The alternative is we could build a bathroom here that's 5 by 8. And if we keep the long wall true, the 8 foot, basically this wall parallel to this wall, well, the space where I'm sitting is actually going to grow. It's going to grow from basically 4'3" at this end to like 4'8" on this end, which is enough room for a small ensuite bathroom. Just small vanity, toilet, small shower stall. That would turn this into a 3-bed, 2-bath, and they'll be back to back. All right, gang, here we are where I thought I'd be something to the tune of 8 hours ago. I've got some Advantech flooring. Now this stuff has a resin in it that makes it much more water resistant than traditional OSB. It is designed to be able to be weather exposed for a very long time, I think 180 days, so maybe more. Like, I'll put it down on the thing, I can't remember, something that's like 500 days. Anyway, it's a long period of time, and as we know, we've got some holes in the roof. So it's all part of the process. As a solo mission, I'm trying to plan for the worst, which is a leaky roof for a longer period of time. Also, installing this stuff under a bathroom makes a lot of sense. Never met a bathroom that doesn't have a leak eventually. Hopefully this stuff will last longer. It has a lifetime warranty if you follow the instructions, which we are not going to do. What I mean by that is they want you to glue this down to the floor joists. We are absolutely not doing that. Having just pulled up floors, the last thing I want to do is have construction adhesive subfloor on my joists. That guarantees turning any future problem from a fixable thing to actually probably replacing floor joists, because if this is really glued to the top layer and screwed down, those adhesives are good and they will indeed make it impossible to lift this thing up without breaking stuff, which is kind of what they're getting after, because that also creates a solid unit, and a solid unit does not squeak because it doesn't, two pieces don't move against each other because they're stuck. I'll deal with a squeak. That's just how I want to approach this thing. This stuff costs twice as much as regular OSB. I think it's $50 a sheet. I hope my investment pays off. I do think it's going to be necessary based on how long it's probably going to take me to truly leak-proof this whole roof system. All right, because I'm somewhat inexperienced in what I'm doing, and I'm doubling down, right? We're building 2 bathrooms from scratch in this area. One attached to this front bedroom. One will be sort of like that, whatever you call the one that's off the hallway for everyone to use. A lot of bathroom plumbing repair, but I've never plumbed in a brand new bathroom. The method to this madness is very DIY. It's going to add labor to my process, but it's going to be more forgiving. All the joists are going to go in with screws, just a screw or two to hold everything in place. And we're going to put in the subflooring. We're going to cut all the pieces, and that way I can sort of mark out exactly where everything is going to go, look at my options. Again, this is the kind of thing that I would normally do on paper, but this room is so out of square, I really need to see how it kind of shakes down. For us, it's the equivalent of mocking it up. The situation that we're running into is not only cross-cutting, but we're cross-cutting at an angle, but we run out that way an inch and change every 4 feet. It's, I think, 6 inches over this 16-foot or less than 16-foot room. So whatever. I mean, they figured it out. They framed it. They did it. Well, we're just going to do the same thing that they did. Man, I can't keep track of my Strugan. There it is. All right, this is my cogitation enhancing stick. All right, sports fans. So this is basically a story stick that I use to kind of help figure the situation out. The trajectory it's on is based on a 30-inch tub going in this area right here. So the idea is to have like a reversed mirrored bathroom set. What I mean is tub, vanity on this side of the wall, toilet, back to back, shower on this side of the wall, vanity on that side of the wall. And you guys may be saying, well, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Well, I don't want to have to go through the wall if I have an issue with either shower. With this setup, there'll be a wall with a shower, and then if I have to get into that valve, I just go in from the vanity into that wall over there, which is way more better than going through any sort of finished shower wall. A tile, a laminate, like you name it, I don't want to do it. So having the showers offset from each other, backed up by the vanities, then we ought to be in pretty darn good shape, hopefully for maintenance or trouble or whatever comes down the road, because, well, nothing lasts forever, gang. Not even cold November rain. It's nearly the end of yet another Saturday. Many of my Saturdays go this way. Oh, gang, we're back here, always here. This feels like purgatory in here. After a lot of measuring and using my Pythagoras and 3, 4, 5 triangles and all of this other razzmatazz, I just grabbed another sheet of 4x8 goods, which should be square enough for us to judge. I've tried squaring off this wall, I tried squaring off that wall, and realistically, the only part of this where square is really going to matter is down at that end, because I would like to put a bathtub at that end. See what I'm saying here? Over there, we gotta fit into existing building. Over here, we'll just make it work. I think this is it at this point. Start doing some layout. Basically, we're gonna draw pictures on the floor. That's 19.5 in that corner, and we're at 21 out here. So we're gonna go ahead and make our first cut. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna logicify that out, hopefully. All right, gang, I know that I've got the groove side toward the wall, so I need to continue that. Bought the wrong circ saw blade, so I'm going to be doing this with a jigsaw. Do it with whatever you want, man. Like, somebody's going to tell you there's a right way, but really, if you make a clean cut, you make a clean cut. Use what you got. A chalk line would solve this problem. Don't have one right now. Don't know where it is. Lost it somewhere along the way. We're going to do it this way. But if you have a chalk line that you didn't lose, well, I'm proud of you. Here we go. Houston, get out of there. Gee whiz. There's a bunch of ways to look at it. You just got to pick a relative point. I know this side needs to be 1.5 inches longer than this side, so I'm going to just take 1.5 inches off right here. Like that. And now I need a straight line from here to this corner out here. And hopefully, if I did my calculus correctly, by calculus I mean using a tape measure, then this angle will be correct. However, I just thought of something. Nope, what I thought of doesn't matter. So here I have this very stabby, full of nails piece of door trim that we're going to use as a straight edge. This is not a perfect kind of thing, not only because we're, you know, because this is Between the Sharks YouTube channel, but you're not looking for a super tight fit. You need a gap between all the pieces because then you can expand and contract. So that's the manufacturer's instructions. It says right here, real big, this is in Spanish, but it says separate the panels, space the panels 1/8 of an inch. I mean, sure, a circ saw would be better, but better than what? That is a clean cut. Should be more than good enough for what we need to do. All right, generally speaking, that's gonna work. I cheesed that corner a little bit. Gotta watch out for that. I don't know if I've said it yet, but this stuff is rated to be 500 days exposure. So I'm hoping we have a roof on this place that's not leaky in less than 500 days. But if we don't, one-man job. While I would love it to be my full-time job, you know, because I do kind of enjoy the work, it is a money out, not a money in situation. If it all works out, we should have a pretty nice house that I would not be able to afford otherwise had I not done the work myself, you know? So I feel somewhat confident in the taper of the wall that our measurement of 1.5 inches over 4 feet is going to be good enough. And then this piece, not being 8 feet, is going to naturally stagger our seams, hopefully with the least amount of waste. Basically just going to cut the angle on this, put it in against the wall, and we're going to fill in the gap on the back side. Dang. I am expertly skilled in the arts of getting in one's own way. Yeah. Look at all this stuff. I put my own way. Oh man, we're moving so slow through this process, but that's just the nature of this particular beast. Plumbing standards are a pretty big deal. Like a toilet needs to be centered 12 inches from the finished wall, so 12 and a half inches from the stud if you're using half-inch drywall. You can screw it up. I've seen it happen. I know a place where there's a toilet 4 inches from a wall. I didn't do it, but I've seen it done. And does the toilet still work? Sure does. But if it was too close to the wall, boy howdy would you be in trouble. So I'm laying this out. This is the facsimile for my wall. Blue tape is my tub. I can go with all the standard code recommendations. Look up the code in your area. We're not reinventing anything here. We're just making one of those. We're trying to. It's fine. You can do it. We can do it. I can do it. It's gonna be great. I don't know how many hours I got on cogitating and ruminating and puzzleifying on this particular room, but it's a lot. It's a whole lot. But I think I finally have it figured out between some sketching and some actual practical layout. So use your imagination. Over yonder, up to this point, we've got a bathroom, shower stall, toilet, vanity. Very simple, very straightforward. Shower stall, toilet, vanity, door. Somewhat where that door is, we're just gonna make it a little bigger because that's only a 2-foot door. That will leave us a closet here that's roughly 2 feet deep, 3 feet wide. We'll put some bifold doors so that this bedroom has a closet so that we can take out that closet so that the room is bigger. This room is gonna come out 10 feet roughly to this wall. The door will swing in here. That will allow us to put a closet or a cabinet, something roughly 28 inches-ish. Then a vanity, toilet, bathtub. Ignore this and we should be able to put our utility closet here that will hold our air handler unit with a 2-foot door that opens this way. So now that I've worked all this stuff out, we gotta undo all of this and then we're gonna put it back in and start making it permanent. But here we are. Let's do it. Gang, it is 1 billion degrees in here. We're gonna go ahead and frame out the next 4 feet, set that all up, and hopefully that'll leave me about 3 feet to duck under this thing and you know, run my utilities. But we should be able to build all the walls on top of everything. We got a lot to do, but like, we're in the phase of doing it, not in the phase of figuring out what it is, at least for this little box that we're in. It's like building a 1-room cabin out of somebody else's really bad 1-room cabin. Oh, it's not like that. It is that. Boy, howdy. Okay, just gotta cut 3 woods. This should work more better now. Round 2. Every one of these is a different measurement because our room is very out of square. Hey gang, it doesn't look like much, but where I'm standing, there has never been floor until this very day. So, at least since I've owned the house, you know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't look like much. It took a lot of cogitation today, but we are actually standing on a pretty solid floor made out of high quality materials, and it's a little overbuilt. We're one size up on our joists. Basically, I'm just proud and I feel good about all of it right now. So, we've got a long way to go, but we are now in a position to like remove the rest of this. We've got to deal with some of the rot in these walls, and we can start plumbing and reframing our new walls in this place, which we actually figured out today. It's not no work by any stretch of the imagination, but we're ready to do it, which is a big step. Why is this thing vexing me? Anyway, as always, thanks for watching Between the Sharks. Good luck on your projects out there. We'll see you next time where we do more of something. Marching forward. It's insane, but like it's overwhelming at times and then very satisfying at times. Like, we might even save this crappy old house. If I can do it, you can do it, gang. All right, good luck on your projects out there. We'll see you next time on Between the Sharks.